So this is a repeat of last week when I started the religion conversation, because people are like, where's the video? Where's the video? I tore it down because the actual video footage was not that good at all whatsoever. So I wasn't happy with it. But I'm going to talk about it now. That one is a little emotional because it's such a disappointment from what I see, from a viewpoint of people that are hurting and having a hard time dealing with things, and they feel like they have nowhere to go. And especially, this is supposed to be a place that people are open to allowing them to come in and talk and feel comfortable. And they don't. So everything is going to change in that aspects of things, because, and I mean many religions are going to change, because those people who have been contributing their money and their ideas and their information will find out later they have been misled. The top of the pyramid is not led by the light. It is led by the darkness. And when you inspired to reach out on your own through God, the inner strength inside you, and connect with that, they didn't like that, because that pushes their connection out with you, with controlling money, with controlling the way you see things, they can't allow themselves to put fear into you, can't allow to use the word hell on you. So they're not liking that right now. They're not very comfortable right now in religion sense of things, because they have to back up what they're saying. And when you get down to a debate of religion with them, all they're going to do is a couple things. Throw stones. They're very good at doing that. Throwing a Bible verse that actually massively confuses you, because it doesn't lead to one direction or the other. It kind of leaves it open. But if you try to debate them, boy, do they have a problem getting debated. Because when you put them in a corner with facts and information and they have nothing to reach to, then they get uncomfortable and they storm off. That's what they do. But I'm not saying all religion is bad, because the religion relies on the person, of how they perceive the information and how they use it for a positive thing or a negative thing. I was raised Christian, but I saw the religion very controlled and dominating and forceful and shoving it down your throat, which in the energy did not feel good whatsoever. The energy was like, nope, it's not right. So to me, I sat back and I saw a bunch of people preaching one way, but walking another. And what I say to all these Christian people and the ones of religion, I say to them one question, and they get upset when I ask them this question. I go, what have you done for mankind lately? And their reply is, well, I went to church. That is not where God, Holy Spirit, knew the people that were needing things are not sitting in the churches. They are out on the streets. They are the bums. They are the people in need, desperately. And they feel good about doing missionary moments of going in and reaching to that, but not staying consistently in it and not backing it up. It just tells them in their own way, I'm doing good. But the thing is about staying consistent, every lesson that Spirit puts in front of you, staying on top of it. You don't walk away from it. You keep doing it. And if it puts you in an uncomfortable situation, you're always supposed to pick Spirit first. Not the idea of the ego. Not the idea of if the church goes against it, well, I can't say anything. Bull. Because that one connection with God is supposed to be the superior of everything. Man, money, all of it. Church, that's the superior of it. And they know you on that side for what you do, and they know you here. So you can't lie your way up there. They know everything. So now it's finally come into a timeline where these people, these younger generations, these older generation, they're no longer in fear of the church. They're no longer in fear of what they think because they see them as a bigot now, lying consistently, not backing up anything that they're saying. And that's what's changing. And now they're reaching inside and using the spiritual connection with God and connecting with that and feeling balanced with that. And so where man was never supposed to be in the middle of that. It was always supposed to be you and the light completely across the board and staying in that connection and trusting that instinct. But your government, your societies, and a lot of stuff that wanted to control you, because if you evolved and changed, they would have no control. And that's where we are now. You have no control. You've lost it. Because people have figured the truth out. So your institutions, your debates are no longer working. Because now for you to move on, you have to back up what you say. You have to literally go by those verses and back up what you say, because people are going to call you out on it now. They're not playing around. And the church is very good when you do have a rising prophet or a seer that has that ability to predict the future or change things, they push them away. You know why? Jealousy, pure jealousy. I'm special because God chose me, and I'm talking about the church. And it's not that way. These seers and prophets are born into this. It's not man's creation of how they developed it. It's God's creation from the beginning. And you can't control that, and you can't stop that. But our money is going different directions, and it's not going into the church anymore. As things are resolved and things come to the surface with the Catholics, the Christians, Protestants, Mormons, all of it. You're going to be hiding. Because people are going to be upset and mad that you push this agenda that never backed up God in that way. But it did back up taking money out of our pockets. And that's going to change. And churches are going to become centers that actually help people. And that's the thing that's going to change. Lies and deceit are going to be a thing of the past. You can't get away with it no more. You can't lie about what you do and then you do something completely different. And let me tell you, I've seen it firsthand. They'll preach, they'll tell you they're doing the righteous thing, but boy, when someone needs something, they'll turn their back. And that's how my family was too. They didn't care. Not at all. And so, and I mean in the way of there's something inside you that's supposed to move you to help a person. And when you're seeing less and less of that in the church, there's an issue. But also, I could tell you there's an energy that's supposed to be involved in that you can feel, that's very daring, very strong, very warm, inviting. It's not in there. I went into the Catholic Church and it's like a dead zone. Completely. It felt like corpse every time I go in there. It's bad. And what's coming out of the Catholic Church, what's going to happen? It's going to be crazy. And I don't think there's a lot of people that, didn't know. They didn't know that it was that bad. They didn't know that they were being controlled by a different source of trying to control your mindset and lead you down the wrong path of more slavery. And put fear into you so you would not make your own choice. That's changing now. It's changing. The church has lost their grip. But natural spiritualism and natural ways of doing things is enhancing by the thousands a day. The difference is spirituality people, they're out there to help. They'll reach out and try to help you. They'll try to find someone that leads you in the light. Always. They do not judge you. They find a place for you. The Christian side of things, it's all about judgment and doing it their way of things. And I have met some of the meanest people from the churches. It's insane how mean they are. And it's all about control. It's a podium of control. And I don't believe in it. I didn't believe it when I was young. I went to a camp and they thought it'd be funny up in the mountains in Colorado Springs how you put one preacher on one side and one on the other, and they're like, confess your sins. What have you done wrong? And Spirit says, get up and walk out. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I had enough strength to know the truth. And I always have. And I can't even tell you when the last time I even walked into a church, because I just get goosebumps, as in, this is all set on lies. Because they've from the beginning misled the people with their true intentions. Their true intentions. And I am just glad that I was able to see that veil of the truth and understanding. Because I do believe in all of us, everything that you do and put a step forward, and what Spirit's lessons puts in front of you, they put lessons in front of you. And if you dismiss it, you haven't done anything for the light. But as you diligently do exactly what Spirit needs you to do to help that person learn this lesson, go through that process, then you've done everything you're supposed to do, and there's nothing anybody can hold against you. They are not the ultimate judgment. They are mortals. Mortals. Who decided one day that they would find a way to control their citizens. So I'm not saying all of them are bad, but a big percentage are misdirected. And the Bible was based on prophets and information. And that's what people don't talk about, you know. Where's the book of Thomas in the Bible? Hidden on purpose. They don't want that in there at all, you know. So there's a lot of information in the Bible that's good. I apply where it needs to. I have tons of books of the Bible that I apply, especially for demonic stuff. Anything that's dark, I can identify. I use it for that. I believe that you have to have protection in this world and know what protects behind you. If you go into opening a door spiritually and you don't know what you're dealing with, you need to identify before you open that door. But I am inspired by the young generation finally opening the door and being strong in the door that they are opening, and searching and doing the research on their own and feeling okay with the path they're going on. And they're not looking for the judgment, and they're not looking for the church's approval anymore. And we're coming on a time that it's pretty phenomenal what's coming. 4D and the 5D, and how that'll change how religion looks, and how you see their past lies, and how it focuses on certain situations. I'm a medium, which churches think, are you burning hell for being a medium? But and I have asked them, like, what is hell? And they're like, soul doesn't burn. Not the way that the humans think. Hell would be eternal darkness. A road that never ends, a darkness that never ends, a mountain that you have to climb, and there's never an end. An eternal pit in a different way. So that's what I see, and they show me when it's that kind of situation. Another thing I'm going to talk about that churches push is suicide. Suicide's so bad and so controlling. You're going to burn in hell if you kill yourself. And let me tell you one thing. What I've noticed when I've talked about suicide with spirits and everything, what I get over there is a very angelic presence, a very warm, healing presence of when that happened, that they are assisted in understanding, because they know how they felt. They know they were suffering. They know there was into the situation in comfort, not in damnation. So if anybody tells you that, they're wrong. And they do not have the veil of understanding. They do not have the veil of understanding. And when you do put those facts in front of you, they can't prove it. They can prove it through a society of writing it in a book and saying this is it. Well, I'm all about documentation following verification. So presenting something that's happening in the future, and as it falls out and it happens, just saying. So I wanted to talk about this because I hate how the spiritual community is thrown under the bus as they do their work. They do it hard, each medium, each intuitive, each healer, and they're doing exactly what they feel inside that Spirit is telling them. But then you have the religion side come along and always try to discredit that and throw it away or demonize it or put it in a big pit. And that's a programming that they have tried to use against you. Wake up from that. Let me tell you, I use a lot of prophet books and a ton. I have I have more religious books than I do normal metaphysical books. I got to tell you, because if you go back on certain things are accurate that fall. If you're listening to what they're saying, Jen, look up this verse. I find it. I'll find it somewhere. So I use a ton of that stuff. But I can apply that information and apply it to a situation and let it fall through. And I think with the churches, they say, well, let's apply this today and see if this is a good control mechanism to put fear in them. So I would tell the churches, stop with your fear-mongering, because your people are walking away. They're walking away by the dozens because people have figured it out that it's about control and money. And when you stop trying to control them and taking their money, maybe they'll start to listen. So you need to get on the right side of the light and be honest, because you only have a certain amount of time to change this around. And if you don't, the fruits will stop coming. The fruits. And God's light will shine a different direction. So you need to think about what you're doing and what you're programmed to do. But you really need to go inner strength inside of you, what God is leading you to do. To run a church, you don't need millions of dollars. You don't need a jet. You don't need a Jaguar. We all know the one in Texas is just all about profit. So stand strong in that connection you have in your inner strength. Stand strong in how Spirit leads you to the truth. And don't allow the stones and the swords to be thrown at you and made you feel belittled or down because you made a different choice than them. You stand in the light and you tell them. At the end of all of this, it has to add up. And either you're going to be wrong or we will. But I have a strong feeling that the religion side has been wrong for a long time. Because look what they did to Jesus. Just saying. So, and he was a healer, and leading people, the noble people, leading them. And they wanted to control him. So those stories will be seen in the light eventually. And our true selves, our one true selves, is to serve that. Down at the root of you, you'll be happy serving the light completely across the board. Whether it's they put you in a nature situation, taking care of animals, taking care of elders, taking care of lands, wherever it is. But you have to follow that instinct and that light. And I tell you, it won't lead you the wrong direction once you follow it and you stay true to it. And like Spirit always told me, we are not skeletons in the closet. The religion people can't pull us out only when they need us. It's a consistent religion format that they do. When they need it, they pull it out. Just like prayer. When people say about prayer, well, I want to pray for this. And I tell people, no, don't do that. And I'll tell you why. Because I could see their intentions behind the prayer. Prayer to me, when they say it, is just a word. Like, it's something that makes them feel better about saying. And Spirit has told me, always pray in a direction, an actual target of knowing what you want from it. And that's where you see these miracles happen, because they went in an exact direction, not just because, well, I need this, so can I have it? It's not the way it works. And sometimes we're supposed to go through hard lessons that bring you to your knees, and it's hard to build back up. But after you go through that lesson and you look back from the situation, you're grateful for going through it. Some of it's hard. It is hard. And I think where people, when you deal with death, they don't know what to say. The church hasn't taught them what they're supposed to say to you at the time of death. Sorry. Sorry is a sorry excuse to say, I have nothing to tell you. I have nothing to say to you. I can't compare myself to you. So I feel uncomfortable, so this is what I'm going to say. Trained society. And so this is the answer that I give for that, is I tell them. So that soul is taken care of in a terrific place, horrendous light around it, and abundance. And sometimes we have to put our energy aside and let that soul go to the light at its time. And if you give it permission to release, you'll be more perceptible for healing and abundance from releasing a soul. We're selfish about death. We want to hold it and contain it. And sometimes we have to release it. And when we release, we feel better about that balance. Because there are people that are bitter about death, and it wrecks their whole life because they refuse to release the death. Church doesn't show you that. They just say pray. Doesn't do anything. Not if it's not in direction, not if you have an understanding about it. If you don't have an understanding about it, you can't feel the power about it. Behind it, the intentions. The intentions are important. So I've learned my road, my way of seeing interaction, putting a positive light into it, and seeing that be implemented and carried through with the light. So there's a lot of things I've been through on this process. And I've seen very much highly demonic things that people have opened up they shouldn't have. And they asked in, and you shouldn't do that either. And you definitely should know how to identify when that happens. And I use a lot of good books for that too. So I'm saying, stand in your ground, stand in your spirit, stand in that light and follow it through. The churches, they have to come get your good graces because they have messed up. And they're going to have to fix it. And if they don't, then they will be disintegrated, just like the Democratic Party. So, I wanted to come on and talk about this. It's a hard subject. It's going to make people upset. But the spiritual people don't want to talk about it, and neither do the Christians. And I don't have a problem bringing it up. And I don't have a problem debating it. But just remember, when you say a verse and you say something that is true, stand in it. Don't stand in it by money. Don't say it because it brings money. Say it because you're true to it. True to it. We have to get back to the truth, which leads to the light. So, now that we've talked about this subject, boy, is that a wound. Ooh, it's going to be a wound. People are, oh no. Here comes the knives and the stones. I'm prepared for it. I used to have Hutterites, not Hutterites, I like Hutterites. They're very good at what they do. But these Mormons, Jehovah's Witness, all of them come to my door. And I wasn't the one that went, go away. I'm like, come on in, let's talk. You know, we talked and I revealed more to them and revealed more to them, showed them where they live, all this stuff. They go back to their church and like, well, that's a witch. Because that's the level of understanding at their veil of understanding. Because that's what they've been taught and programmed. Not a witch, I'm a seer. And I've been chosen to have that ability before I was here. And so that's what I'm talking about right there. Right there, that's the problem. And then the church fears you. Fears that you might have more knowledge than them. And they do not want to debate that. So I'm not on here to hate on the Christians. I am here to say, stop it. Be honest. Be honest. Because you're going to lose them. Because you're not walking in that path. You're walking in ego. You're walking in throwing stones. And you're walking in the fact that you think that you are better than other people. Stop it. It was really funny. The first time I went to Boston, I gotta tell you this, and I saw a bum on the street, and it amazed me that all these people, it was outside of a church, all this religion, and they acted like they didn't see him. Not one. And I always, Spirit always tells me, if Jesus wants to come to earth, he's going to be a bum. Because no one pays attention. They dismiss them. They feel that is not my journey to help them or figure it out or even talk to them or give them some kindness. So I moved around country for a while. Every time I'd see a bum, I'd give him money. Didn't matter. You have to acknowledge those people. Because they have something in credibility and character that a lot of us don't. You can ask them, they have only $5 and they'll give you $2. Because they're very humble. They know what it's like to be without everything, but know how to make it and know that they still have a strong spirit. So every time you see a bum, don't ignore them. I don't care if it's $5 or $2. Give them something. Because at that moment, at that time, that's your test. That's that Christian test. That's that path. Or that dog that's on the street. Or any family that you need to help. By dismissing him, you're failing the lesson. It's right in front of you, and you're failing. And I'm talking about the church. I believe the noble people will see it. And I believe they'll reach out. And I believe more of it has to come. And just like what's going on right now, it's so funny that you are perceived and see things as one country going through problems. Where were you when it was happening here? Where was your compassion then? Where were you at the point that kids were starving or going through abuse or trafficking? Where is that? That's how well you're controlled. It's happening right here and you don't even want to see it. You don't care. But you're worried about it because a TV shows you, and you know why? Because it triggers you that you know you haven't been honest. And you make yourself feel better by donating to that when you should have been donating in your own area around the people that needed help. That's guilt. That tells you you're not doing anything you're supposed to have been doing. Because what I see daily here, it's sick. No one cares because it's not in their face. Like I said, you're all tested. And you're failing here in the United States. The kids, the whole process, you're ignoring it. You're going to need a puke bucket soon. Because after you see everything, you won't be able to be the same person over. Because you turned a cheek. And I'm saying this to everybody. Look what's going on in your own backyard. The media has a way of choosing what is important and you following through with that. Why don't you start choosing? Why don't you start making that decision instead of someone else making that decision for you? Because if you look around everywhere that you live, you'll find it. You'll find the hardship. You'll find the suffering. It's because you don't want to do that much work. Because you have to stay on top of it. It's not just one time and it's over. Oh, I feel good about myself. You stay with it. So, this was a long conversation about something that we needed to talk about. And I'm glad I did. Everybody knows how to reach me. And there's my email, so I'm sure I'll get some emails. So, yeah. But it's a subject that needed to be brought up. And I will tell you, I am proud of the spiritual community. I'm proud of them standing in their own. I'm proud of them walking in the light. I'm proud of them doing their work. And I'm proud of them listening to the lessons in front of them. Good job. Good job. Good job. The church, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do. So, stop judging. Stop throwing stones. Stop criticizing people. And be humble. And work for the light again. You guys know how to reach me. Have a good day.